got AI, you got tech oligarchies, and you got your entire life connected to this guy right here. Tracks everything you do, goes along with you everywhere you go. Outsourced everything to these tech oligarchs. And with AI, they will know every single thing about you. And they're going to put a number on your head right here, just like the number of the beast. And your entire experience as a human being is going to be based on whether that number is higher and that number is low. That is the system you're sleepwalking into as you complain about paying your car payment and your bills and all your other stuff. That's the system you're sleepwalking into. Do you really want to live in a world where every single thing you say, think, and do is monitored? Do you really want to live in a world where your entire value as a human being is a number that an artificial intelligence agent has stamped on you? Because that's what you have with the legacy financial system. And no one is going to save you. The whole reason our industry exists, with its avarice, its chaos, its stupidity, its meme coins, and its bullshit, is because it's the only thing humanity has invented to avoid that dystopian hellscape of a future. That's it. That's the whole reason it exists.
Welcome everyone, welcome to the show. Today I want to check out Cardano and technical analysis. I don't think I ever done a complete video on just Cardano, but if you guys don't know, my channel is Bad Money because I want to talk about bad money, the money that we're using right now, money controlled by a few, for a few, and created from debt. And I have this idea that inverts that whole idea, right? It's human-centered currency, good money, money that's created by all of us, for all of us, and backed by our work, because we know since the beginning of time that usually debt is the devil's dick, right? And Cardano, this is Charles Hoskinson, right, the head of Cardano and Midnight. So we're going to check out Midnight too in the charts, and Cardano, right, and Midnight. But if you don't know, I think this guy should run for president. If he doesn't do it, then I do it, because I truly believe that we need an update. We find ourselves in an unprecedented time, like he's speaking about here, right? We have AI and robots. This is some real 666 kind of stuff, right? And Cardano, in a world that's full of problems, right? We hear when you go into YouTube and you find the biggest YouTubers, all they're talking about is problems, but I don't hear any solutions. The only solutions that I see here is Cardano, a blockchain, a cryptocurrency, which most people have been taught to believe is just a scam. People think that crypto is dead, but yet we have Iran now asking for crypto to toll for oil tankers transit to the Strait of Hormuz, according to FT. Of course, they're taking other stuff like yuan, right? But this is where the world is going. They say there's a war in currency. If you guys don't know that, right? We have the old money versus the new money, BRICS versus the US. And these countries are dumping US treasuries, and then they're getting dollars, and then they're using those dollars to buy other things like precious metals, like gold and all this. And meanwhile, the debt just continues to go up and up and up. Look, we're at $39 trillion, which is about $357,000 per taxpayer that we are responsible for. And my unborn daughter, when she's born, she's probably gonna be like $114,000 in debt. And this is just stealing from the people. And I believe that this number down here behind me, let's see, can you guys see a dollar for crypto? Oh yeah, I can scroll this up. My bad. Dollar for crypto, right? It's only at $8.62 per dollar, but it says dollar to crypto ratio in 2013, so that was probably at the top of a bull run. It was at $9,608 per dollar. And I believe in the near future this will be the case once again, because if you guys don't know, even though the media and the bankers and everyone's telling you that crypto is a scam, behind the scenes there's BlackRock, which is connected to Coinbase, which is connected to Circle, and USDC, which is a new stable dollar, the new digital dollar. And these people are basically, they don't need to build a CBDC to act as a CBDC, which is what I think a lot of people are not understanding. And behind the scenes, the bankers are fighting for yield. You know how you deposit your money when you go to work into your bank account? If you put it into a savings account, you get like less than 1% per year. It's ridiculous, right? But if you just turn that money into digital dollars, you can now get like 3% in Coinbase, right? So the banks are freaking out about this. But I think this is a foregone conclusion. Like, they already made the decision. We're just seeing the WWE. And in this world where these crypto cartels are trying to control the future of money, the future of currency, it's very important to pay attention to people like Charles. I just made this video of Charles for president. I don't have any subscribers. Look, I have like 8 subscribers, and this is the most views I ever got. This is Wendy O interviewing Charles, and she asked him if he would run for president, because I had asked her to ask him if he would run for president, and I guess she did, but he said he wouldn't because the whole system is all screwed up. So go watch that video if you're interested. But this video is more of a technical analysis video, right? But I want to show you Bitcoin first, because if you guys don't know, I did call the top on gold. I think I'm the only human. See, this is from, I pinned it, but this is from January 23. You see this line? I was telling people before it happened. I was telling people as it happened. I even called it as it happened. I threw the horns up here and I said there was a top on gold, right? And what's interesting about that is that when you look at Bitcoin measure in silver or Bitcoin measure in gold, you see the same chart where we're testing this old trend. You see how we're jumping right here? That's exactly what's happening right now. And as I had predicted, I had this line here. We called this bottom multiple ways. You could have called it this way, but you could have also called it here on the daily. Let me show you really quick, because these lines is always moving, right? But actually, I don't need a new line, because this is the same line, but it moves. But back in the past, it was here. Let me see, candle to candle, candle to candle, candle to candle. You see right here? That's another way we could have called this current bottom. But now what's happening, what we're waiting for is, now we're here at max pain, right? I had this line for a while on my X, right? And I was telling people that we're gonna break out of here, but to watch out for this resistance, which looks like Bitcoin's about to hit today or tomorrow. So I'm really curious to see what happens. I would say get ready for the retest, because every time we break out of these resistance, we always break out, we hit some sort of resistance, and then we come back to see if we can hold it. If we can't hold it, then I would be waiting for the blue line. And if the blue line doesn't hold it, I would expect something, this pattern, this area right here, to get filled. So maybe we go to here, let's say. So maybe we hit this blue line, worst case scenario, which is a good point actually, because if we throw in the 200 SMA on the weekly, this is what everyone's waiting for. It kind of lines up with this area, right? So this is sort of what I'm expecting. On top of that, if I throw this RSI plus, oh, here it is. See, I have marked it with these hands. On the weekly, every time it's gone off, and it's only gone off like 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And I was tweaking the settings, right? So you got to tweak the settings to get them to where I got them. But look, right here, great time to buy. Right here was a great time to buy. It was basically bottom. Right here is basically right here, but it went a little lower. But I mean, it still would have been a great call, right? And now it's going off again, and it definitely hit our line, right? So maybe this is bottom. So let's go back to how I had it in the beginning. And the reason I got to talk about Bitcoin is because all cryptos just sort of follow Bitcoin, right? So I just want to let you guys know that I believe this is bottom, or that we're bottoming out. On top of that, if we see, I call the top on silver too, not just gold, because gold and silver actually look exactly the same. This is how I got the top on silver and gold. You see this little hill right here? Then they went sideways for like 10 years before they broke out. Same thing on gold. This is a chart that's on my X, and as you can see, we're struggling. And gold took a hard dip, right? And what I heard is that this first candle on gold, this candle right here, It's actually the market cap of crypto, which means that whoever sold that could have bought all of crypto with just this one candle on gold, because the market cap of Bitcoin is way smaller, right, than of crypto. So on top of that, if we look at Bitcoin measuring gold, like I showed you earlier, right, we're bouncing off of this line I had put down a long time ago in January or before that. This is why I was telling people you're better off buying Bitcoin now than gold. And this is the proof. Look, it's now bouncing. And also on silver. Maybe we come back down, we do this kind of thing, right? Maybe Bitcoin, like I said, comes back down to this blue line. But I think we're bottoming out, guys. I think it's inevitable. And like I said, Iran is now asking for cryptocurrencies. The national debt just continues to skyrocket, right? And there's no end in sight. This is how they're stealing from all of us, right? They're just printing our money away, which is why I think something like Bitcoin is a better form of money than fiat, obviously, right? I think the money's in a scale from worse kind of money to better kind of money, and I think the kind of money we're using is the worst. And I actually think the best form of money is Cardano, believe it or not. And we're really big here in San Diego about Cardano. This is Rod from the church. He has a show every day on every Sunday here on X. So a bunch of ADA boys here with the Dream Stake Bull. But yeah, we're having another meetup soon. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But let's go into the TA. So as you can see, I think Bitcoin is bottom, right? So now what's happening with ADA? I had this chart for a very long time. And actually, I didn't have this line, right? So let me delete it. I had it like this. It's on my X. But as you can see, we're below it. So maybe if Bitcoin does continue to blow up, right? Maybe Bitcoin doesn't come and retest. I don't know. Then I would expect ADA to get back above here. And if it can hold support, then hold on, guys, because we're definitely going to rip to this line up here, because ADA is basically stuck inside this big ass triangle. And it looks like we're at the bottom, right? So this is a great time to begin to DCA. Maybe we find support, maybe we come up. But if Bitcoin dumps, right, let's say Bitcoin goes and does come down and kiss the 200 SMA like it always does, then I think ADA could come down to that line I had, right? So where is it? Maybe I gotta redraw it. Where's my line? There it is. So is a 9-cent ADA possible? Or maybe right here. Let's see. I would say right. Let me zoom in. How low can ADA go? Let's say Bitcoin dumps, then I would expect ADA to dump as well to maybe here. Or is that like a 13-cent ADA? That would be a good spot. Let's see. Does that match with our new line? No, actually we would go lower. So I think we could come down and kiss this line, which is around 9 cents. So at that point, what are we hitting here? I think let's go to the weekly. Maybe that will give me better data. I think that's where I originally had my line, actually, right here. 10-cent ADA. This one will be the killer one. So yeah, I'm gonna put a buy right here at 0.0999, right, just in case ADA dumps, because looks how nicely it aligns with this downward support line. But I don't know if it is. But if Bitcoin dumps, get ready. I think we could see a John Wick, like this John Wick right here, come all the way down here to hit like 10 cents. So I'm gonna set a buy there just in case. But I wouldn't doubt it if this is it. And ADA begins to move up here, find support, and like I said, it's gonna attack this one. And once it breaks above here and finds support, watch out, guys. I think this thing is going to skyrocket. This is the only peer-reviewed cryptocurrency in the whole market that's mathematically proven to keep your shit secure. If you're gonna have your school records and your medical records and your birth certificates and your real estate, right? Once we have tokenized real-world assets, I'm not gonna want to have those things on Solana that always gets hacked, or in Ethereum that's super expensive. Like, I'm gonna want to have that on ADA. And people are complaining about how it's slow and all that. Like, bro, it's just software. This is just the beginning. ADA's only gonna get better with time. Learn about Hydra and how quick that shit's gonna be. It's gonna blow everything off the market, right? And now let's check out Midnight, because ADA is like a third generation cryptocurrency, right? It's like the best of Ethereum and the best of Bitcoin combined. But now there's this Midnight. Look, it's only a couple of weeks old. Came out like last November, I believe. And this is sort of what's going on. It's just coiling up, and it looks like it's trying to break out of here. Maybe it comes down and finds some support. But I think Midnight is beginning to bottom. Excuse me. Maybe we go as low as, I think I had another line. Maybe, maybe we do this. I guess that's possible, right? So if like Bitcoin dumps really hard and ADA goes down to 10 cent ADA, 9 cent ADA, then I would expect Midnight to come down here. So if it fell right now, it's like a 2 cent Midnight, 0.022 or something, right? So yeah, watch out for that. But other than that, I'm really curious about this project, because it's a 4th generation cryptocurrency that allows us to do all kinds of fun things we couldn't have done before, like real voting, open source voting, like a way to keep things private, but not everything private, selective disclosure, right? And this is just game changer. This is going to bring in the big dogs, the Googles, the Amazons, the bankers who don't want to expose everyone to all their transactions like they would be on Bitcoin. And then they can't use something like Zcash, because Zcash is just like a Bitcoin that's private, but that's not gonna cut it legally, right? This is really where you go do the dark shit. But Midnight is different. It's in complete harmony with what corporations and governments will need. And Charles is a maniac, this guy. He really thought about this because he injected Midnight into all these other ecosystems like Solana, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? We all got to mine and do this glacier drop. Like, I'm still being dropped Midnight just for free. So that's why I'm curious about this chart, because there's no VC money, right? So everyone had to buy or we bought, and most of it was just free. It's still been dropped to us for free. And this is a 4th generation cryptocurrency. And if you guys don't know, Cardano was actually the biggest runner in the last bull run. It literally went from here like 3 cents or something, right here at the bottom of COVID. I think it was like at 3 cents, and then boom, it went all the way to $3, which is crazy. And I do believe that this is just the beginning for Cardano, despite all the hate. Like, if you go to X, everyone hates Cardano, but like they hate Cardano because it's dead. But honestly, all cryptocurrencies are dead. Let's pull up I don't know what else we have here. Let's see. Ethereum. Right, I had this chart on my X, again, Bad Money 619. Follow me there for a long time. We have these 2 points here. They gave us this bottom right here, bottom again. Look, Ethereum's also bouncing. We had a nice fake out right here, but if it can get back above here, watch out. But maybe not. Maybe Ethereum just continues to bounce here forever. But look, it's also dead, right? Ethereum is dead. Let's see, XRP. Look, it looks like XRP is trying to build some support. Like, all these cryptos are breaking out of this resistance, right? They all look the same. Look at Sui. It's also coming into this resistance here. Looks like it wants to blow up. Look at the H bar. Same thing, breaking out of this resistance. Look at the ICP chart. I've been buying some ICP. But again, it's inside this triangle. ICP is all the way at the bottom, right? Finding support still. This is Ondo, which is connected to the crypto cartels, BlackRock and RWAs. Also kind of going sideways, building support. You see that? It's like there's no more. And look at this signal right here. This is the first time on Ondo on the weekly that we have my signal going off. So that's interesting. What about XRP? Was it going off? It's not going off on XRP yet. What about Interesting. So it's going off on Ondo. It's going off on the Sora one. Oh no, it's not. Is it going off on ADA? Oh yeah, look. So we're getting the signal on ADA on the weekly, but we had it here, here, here. Oh wait, this is ADA versus Bitcoin. It looks like it's trying to break out. So watch out, because the last time ADA broke out against Bitcoin, this is what we got, right? So you want to be in it before it explodes. And as you can see here, we're beginning to break out of this resistance. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, I think all cryptos are basically dead, guys. But the US dollar does look like it's gonna get rejected here, which, as I've been posting on my X, and I think it's gonna come all the way over here. So you're probably better off in anything other than the dollar. But I wouldn't want to buy gold all the way up here, right? That's kind of dumb. So you kind of want to buy things when they look like this, but no one gives a shit. Especially if you see Cardano come down here to 10 cents, then look, the signal's going off, man. The last time the signal went off on ADA was here, literally the bottom of this thing. So I don't know. Watch out. I guess this is possible, guys, but if Bitcoin starts ripping, you best bet this was the bottom on ADA. And watch out for midnight. This is the future of crypto, and if ADA was number one last cycle, then I don't see why midnight couldn't do the same. Google already said that Cardano is the most quantum resistant chain, right? So Charles is thinking in advance. Everything he does is in advance, and everything he said has happened. Maybe it didn't happen at the pace that everyone wanted, but Cardano is the only one with the layer 0, you know what I mean, that actually has values. This is where I would actually want to put my kids' school records and medical records. I'm not gonna put that shit on Solana or Ethereum or XRP. Get the hell out of here, dude. Or Sui. It's super centralized chains. This is true decentralization. And I think this is what the bankers are freaking out about. They don't know what they just unleash upon the world, right? I think that Bitcoin was just a Trojan horse, and Cardano and Midnight, we are these warriors, because in this digital revolution, Cardano and Midnight are my weapons of choice. So if you guys like that, follow me again at badmoney619. I'll keep you guys posted, and love y'all. See you guys in the next one. Peace.